Espionage is essential to any military conflict. And what spies do basically is they go undercover behind enemy lines. The better the disguise, the more effective they'll be in gleaning information, but ultimately the more effective they'll be in winning the war, bringing destruction to the enemy. So disguise is important, even though it is masterful deception. Did you know that in 2 Corinthians 11, verse 14, Paul says that Satan disguises himself as an angel of light? In other words, the most evil being in all of the cosmos has the ability to disguise himself as a good angel, a messenger of God. Now, Paul is giving us this information in the middle of a chapter where he's warning about false prophets or false teachers, those who teach anything other than what is true of the gospel, what is true scripture. Now, this important lesson for us, because those of us today, we realize that because of the internet, we have the ability to find all types of teachers, all types of information. And we hear people and we listen to, and it's easy to trust people who we don't even know. We know nothing about them. Now, what Paul warns should be sobering to all of us. We should be more discerning, because just because someone says they're of God, just because someone claims to have some level of Christianity or they claim to be a Christian doesn't mean they are. Because if they're not sticking to the truth of Scripture, we will be in trouble. We remember that Paul reminds us that we're in the middle of a spiritual battle. And the spiritual battle is one that where, again, the evil one, the master of disguises, is seeking to bring destruction. He seeks to destroy every believer. He seeks to disrupt and destroy your life, to pull you away from the truth of the gospel. He desires nothing but evil for you. That's sobering. It's also the truth why we need to put on the full armor of God, like Paul says in Ephesians 6. We need to stand firm in the power of God, God's might. In Psalm 108, verses 12 and 13, we read, "O grant us help against the foe, for vain is the salvation of man. With God we shall do valiantly. It is He who will tread down our foes." That's the hope of the gospel. You see, when Paul tells us to put on the armor of God, we are recognizing that our efforts are useless against the foe. We will be deceived, we will be wiped out, we will be discouraged, and will struggle in so many ways. But the truth is that when we put on the armor of God, when we look to God for our strength, we will do valiantly. Two things to think about. One, do you recognize that Satan is the master of disguises and that his goal is to destroy you? Two, are you looking to God for your strength? Are you putting on the whole armor of God? I'm Bob Orner, and I'd like you to think about that.